Hello all, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with the block 3, that is written communication at work. In this block, there is 3 units, that is unit 9, basics of business communication, that we will cover today, and unit 10, short business correspondent, and unit 11 is long business correspondence. So this is under block 3. So today we will start with the unit 9, that is basics of written business communication. So let's see the objectives of this chapter. After studying this unit, you should be able to understand the basics of writing, develop a mind map, learn the process of writing and structure of this unit are. There is an introduction, need for written communication, features of written communication, process of writing, summary and keyword session, self-assessment questions also there in this unit. So let's begin with the introduction part. No matter where we are or what we do, we engage with the writing daily. We text and write emails. We make lists when we must shop or plan a to-do profile of our daily activities. We write assignments and exams if we are students. At the workplace, we write reports, projects, and proposal and other documents. And yet we do not call ourselves writers and believes that only people who write for a living are writers. Writing is essentially a communication tool that is used to convey emotions or exchange information. If you have used this tool to talk to your friends, colleagues and family, you are already a writer. And however, in order to be a good writer, you need to read good models of writing, have knowledge about writing, and above all, you need to practice constantly. The problem is with how we approach writing across schools and colleges. We tended to approach writing as an activity that has to be completed as a single task. However, writing is not just one task, and it is made up of many smaller tasks happening both consciously and unconsciously. When we do not value and recognize the smaller tasks which go into the writing of a piece, we may end up feeling overwhelmed. Instead, if we follow a step by step process, and it makes the act of writing more systematic and ensure we have enough time to think about and assess the quality of our own writing. And through the act of writing, we aim to create, develop and refine our thinking. The process approach become a suitable model for this, and therefore to become a good writer, you may have to first ensure that you have your basics in place. So it is necessary to start with understanding the need and importance of writing. So let's see the need for writing communication. As human being, we observe and process a vast amount of information that we get from the world around us. We react to what we see, and these reactions make us unique individuals. If we document these reactions and observation regularly, we create records of our personal history. Writing is thus an important tool for documentation. In recent times, however, writing has expanded to become an important professional skill, since we are connected by online networks which demand constant communication. We are expected to write concise and clear text, and all professional workplaces now demand among strong writing skills from their employees, and it is an important ingredient for upward mobility. Beyond this obvious and practical function, we write for the following reasons. Write to experience. People who take photographs have often talked about the importance of capturing the beauty of a moment. In a similar way, writing can motivate or demotivate the employees of an organization. And right to think. As a human, we are constantly inundate with thoughts about our daily lives, ambitions and insecurities. And right to create, word have the power to carry inspiring messages. Right to learn, writing can help us remember what we read and study. So activity 1 under this subsection, you just try to do it. And as you are probably aware, writing help you develop many skills which are helpful for your academic life as well as your work life. Writing helps in communicating one's idea and thoughts. So writing help you remember what you are reading by helping you make coherent notes, analyze, synthesize and summarize information from different sources, and writing as you read by taking notes, summarizing, responding to assumption or arguments in a text makes you better reader. This kind of reflection enhance your understanding and help you develop new insight. Writing will also foster your personal development. When you write about events in the organization, it help you understand the significance of these events. In other words, you become a more reflective and thinking person. At the workplace, you will need to write impressively to get job, and while in a job you will be expected to write effective and correctly worded email, memos, reports, proposals and so on. And features of written communication. Many people believe that people who are good at writing do not need to spend a lot of time learning to write. They are born writers. Writing comes naturally to them, and however this is not true. And writing research show that all good writers also keep learning how to write, and they constantly practice their skills. And to be an effective communicator, one must adhere to the following characteristics of writing. One is extensive reading, constant writing, word conscious or word seeker, purpose of writing, target audience, understanding of the subject. So these are the characteristics of writing. You just go through your ignou study material also for the explanation of each. And activity 2 is under this subsection. And the next is process of writing. What is process of writing? Writing is a complex process which involves thinking and composing text. When we write, we have ideas, and these ideas come to us as a word or phrase. So these words or phrase are then logically placed in sentences, which are then combined to form a paragraph. Ultimately, paragraphs are put together to form a coherent text. And though the process of creating a text may vary from person to person and text type to text type, there are few basic steps that can help us demystify this process. Writers therefore plan and then revise their plan, draft and then revise their draft, and write and then rewrite. So this is known as the process approach to writing, and it is important to follow such an approach. And step 1 is understanding your reader, or who is it for. And before the beginning the process of writing, it is important to identify the reader. And is the reader your boss, or are you writing a project proposal for venture capitalist? And either way, knowing the reader is the first step in the writing process. If we closely examine our writing activities, we will see that we write differently based on who the reader is and what genre of writing we are attempting. It can be a formal as well as informal form of communication. Once you identify the reader, the next step is to develop a profile of the reader. And are you writing for a digital audience? If yes, you may have to consider keeping the length of your text short. And if your reader is potential employer, if yes, you may have to use formal tone when you write. Okay, like that. Creating a reader's profile. The following list of questions can help you create reader's profile. Who is my reader, and are they familiar with what I say, and why should they be interested in what I say? What is the best way to communicate? Should I use particular structure, tone or style when I communicate? What will they gain after reading? And activity 3 is under this. You just try to do it. And step 2, finding the purpose. What is your intent? And now that you know your audience, it is time to identify the purpose behind your writing. You need to do that to ensure the following. Your audience will understand what you are writing about, why it is important to you and to them. You will understand why you, your superiors and your organization need to know about the subject. You will be able to identify and gather the information, and that is most relevant to your readers and your goals. Step 3, the starting the writing process. Sometimes when we sit down to write, and we may feel the need to discuss everything under the sun about the topic that we choose, or we may get stuck and cannot write to all. And in such a situation, it is always good to just start writing. And Ideas, if you have noticed, gain coherence and clarity when you put them down on paper. And step 4 is developing ideas, how to reach, and conducting research is a crucial component of the writing process. Here are a few tips that can help you with the conducting your research. Internet research and identifying credible sources. In internet research, at the brainstorming stage, you will have several ideas in mind for your proposed topic. It might be a good idea to capture them in your mind map, and this might make it easier to narrow the scope of your topic as you think along. Identify the credible sources. Now that you have an overview about your topic, it is important to identify the reliable information. And library research, a few decades back, library were the primary source of information. While the internet has helped us find information to record speed, it can also not have the right answer for some of our queries. And organization and label your research. Research can thoroughly overwhelm you if you do not organize the information that you have. So when you collect the information through internet or library research, organize them into folders and label them correctly. And step 5 is writing a plan. So under this there is mind map. Creating a mind map is, so here is one picture. Business plan, there is an organizational structure, executive summary, overview of organization, IT, marketing. So mind map of business plan is like a different kind of 360 view thinking, right? And asking questions is important under this. And activity 4 is here for this, depending on this, so try to do it. And step 7 is structuring, how to outline. So how to outline all these things. An outline prepared a skeletal structure of your writing. Since you have brainstormed and researched on your topic, you have vast amount of information in hand. So therefore it is good to create an outline that can help you to organize the information logically. And activity 5 is here. And step 8 is put it on paper, how to write. So you done your research, and you done or you create this skeletal structure, everything. And the final step is to write final answer or final paragraph. So far we discussed the planning method and strategies that could help with the writing process, but how do we start writing? This is an interesting question because preparation and plan do not translate to write. And to write, we must sit and desk and write to meet our deadline. This means that we must push our brain to construct coherent sentences, paragraphs, and text when we write. So in such a context, the following writing tips can be useful. Free writing, concentrate, make writing a habit, time yourself, talk to someone. These are the some important stages to write and not edit. So activity 6 is here. And step 9 is reworking the draft, how to revise. Okay, the act of writing is incomplete without an act of reading and revising. To write is to also read and then rewrite what we write, and usually what you write in your first draft may be messy, and it could be a tangled bunch of ideas and half formed thoughts you communicate on paper at one go. Next is integrating feedback, how to collaborate. Most people believe that writing is personal project. So while this may be true to some extent, good writing emerge from collaboration and feedback. Even after the first round of revision, you may still not know if your writing would work for a reader. And step 11 is polishing the draft, how to edit and proofread. Editing and proofreading are a final step of the writing process, so they make our writing effective and error free. The following step can help you with your editing process. So read your writing aloud, find and fix common mistakes, check and remove repetition, clarity, use active voice, ensure uniformity in the use of tense, check for subject verb agreement errors. Okay, the following steps can be help you to with your proofreading process. Read one sentence at a time. Look closely from the beginning to the end, like that. Read the paper aloud. Consider proof reading in a different order other than top to bottom. And common punctuation errors such as use of commas and apostrophes can also be rectified during proofreading. Finally, to ensure that there are no mistakes, you can also consider sharing your writing with a friend and asking them to proofread. So activity 7 is here under this, and summary of this unit is here. So this is all about the writing. In this unit we have learned the importance of writing as an important mode of communication. So we look at how writing help us to organize our thoughts and help us communicate effectively. At the workplace, good, clean, concise writing help us in upward mobility in our careers. Okay, so writing is very important part, and keyword section is here, and self-assessment questions also here as usual, and discuss the need for written communication. What are the characteristics of good written communication? Explain different steps of the process of writing. What is the role of feedback in written communication? Why is written communication important for business organizations? Yes, these are 5 questions. You just try to do it. It will help you for your term and examination. So for more MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel, and thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents ignou MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 21785.